What's up, everybody? Welcome to a sad episode of No Scrubs Allowed. The only positives we have is our basketball stuff, but we're going to save that at the end because, out of respect, we obviously want to start out with the losses of Bill Russell and Vin Scully. And man, what a week! They say these things comes in threes, and I hope that I know that more people have passed away, even in the news, but I hope that for big sports icons,
It's Roger Goodell. Oh,
it stops at two. But just brief overview before we break it down into each of them individually. What did you? What kind of emotions did you have this week? Obviously, the Celtics. We don't like the Celtics, but it's Bill Russell and then
yeah.
Vin Scully, which I know you're a Red Sox fan, but I personally, obviously, love Vin
Well, I
Scully.
mean, when you look at highlights of Dodgers games, the whole like it's Vin Scully
Mhm.
runs hand in hand with some of the most iconic moments in baseball, and it's prime time of commentators. He was the guy, and mad respect to him for having a long career and being happy in what he did until his final day. And the same with Bill Russell. I mean, it's kind of the whole Bill Russell thing. It doesn't shock you because of his age, but it kind of does at the same time because he's literally everywhere.
Yeah.
He does everything. He seemed just like this just timeless wonder who would always be at every award show, at every big game, any big primetime Celtics game. You're going to see him amongst the people there, and it's just kind of just going to be very weird. But yeah, hell of a player, hell of a coach, big basketball person. And the one thing, and all respect to Bill Russell and his career, but for people to want to start retiring jersey numbers and doing all this stuff now, and the best winner of we could have done this for 80 years.
Yeah.
Like let's not start all that. But yeah, man, it's definitely stinks, but at least it's two older people and had did what they were meant to do in this sport and in this life of theirs and really had a good life. And it's not one of these guys who,
Mm.
man, he could have had a great broadcasting career. Man, this guy could have had a great NBA career. We're talking about two legendary guys in their respective sports. And yeah, it's a bitter sweetness to these. Unfortunately, it happened, but hey man, these guys live great lives and really showed us what it's like to be a professional in their profession.
Right. They both luckily ended not when they were supposed to, but everybody ends when they're supposed to, but just felt like they lived their full career, their full life. They had both retired. They were both almost in their 90s. Um, Vin actually past 90. And so they lived a full life. They got to do what they had their song. They came out. They've been respected. Bill was part of that 75 thing, and he came out and he said some words. He's always been a champion of like racial progress and things like that, which is huge. Vin has been big and with women's in sports, which I know he does baseball, which is obviously all men, but he's been very outspoken about women's sports getting bigger and he's been able to see that kind of start up. So just all that the progress that they have seen, because just imagine, man, when Vin started, I think it was like 1955 or something was his first ever broadcast.
Crazy.
And like to think how sports have changed since then, that's probably right around the time that Bill Russell was getting ready to play basketball, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
to see how sports has changed since both of them have been there, it's crazy. But I was watching this morning just highlights of Vin Scully's like greatest calls that he's ever had, and I'm just sitting on the couch, just like shedding a tear. And my girlfriend was like, "What are you like? Aren't you trying to get ready for work?" And I was like, "I'm not going to be able to work today." Just
Oh
like,
man.
I mean, I did go to work and I did work, but it was hitting me. I was like, man,
Yeah.
and it hit me that way when he retired in the first place because I was like, shit, I'm never going to get to hear that again. But now, like, you're literally never going to get to hear it again. There's not going to be a single soundbite ever again that's new. So it was just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And the same with Bill Russell. Again, I didn't really care for the Celtics, never have. And he was retired long before I started watching basketball. So everything that I've ever seen of him just feels in the past, but I got to listen to Ben in the present, and so it hit a little different.
True. Yeah, and it was definitely it's weird how that happens. It's never just like, hey, Bill Russell's passed. It's and freaking at 1 a.m. now. Vin Scully's gone too. It's just how it's weird how all that shit happens. But yeah, man, shout out to them, shout out to their lives and really going out there and doing the damn thing until the day they passed away. Like you said, Vin Scully is really big in the community and people's rights and went at it until the day he passed. And Bill Russell's always been somebody who wanted to give back to basketball and did until the day he passed. So that's definitely something you can look up to and kind of get some goodness out of instead of just remembering them. Like take a piece of what they did in their lives and try to acquire that to your life, and you might be able to do some good with it.
For sure. So we wanted to start off with that and honor their legacy. If you ever get a chance, go watch. There's not really video of Bill Russell playing basketball. There's a few like black and white shitty videos, but you can find some highlights of him doing some crazy stuff that doesn't even seem possible. And then go listen to like the Bill Buckner era that had the Mets win the World Series. Obviously the Kirk Gibson, which you were talking about.
Yeah.
All these calls are really good. He actually called a Super Bowl or something back in the day.
Really?
They were doing it and I was like, oh, that's crazy. So that's kind of cool too, but he wasn't as good at football. Once he locked into the Dodgers, it was game over. But so we're going to move on now and we're going to talk about the sports, but it doesn't really go up to a high note from here because the Deshaun Watson case is the big story and it finally got news. He got suspended 6 games, but what's crazy is the NFL pretty much agrees with everyone else and they think it should be more. And it's weird because I saw that the NFL appealed the ruling and I just sat there and I just thought they appealed the ruling. What assholes, just let the guy get fucking suspended. But then I looked into it and they're actually appealing that they want a harsher penalty.
Yeah,
They want it to be at least a year. They want it to be a fine and all this other stuff. Now, why? Like, first of all, I agree with that. I think they should do that. But why can't the NFL just do it themselves?
I believe that's the new
it?
CBA. That it has to be because I mean, right back in the day, everything was handed down by Roger Goodell. So I think that's something. I mean, this is just me thinking. I don't know if this is factual, but at the old CBA, the commissioner was not only the judge, he was the jury, he was the defendants, judge or lawyer, he was the prosecution, like he was everything.
Right.
And yeah, it was all on him. So I think it had to be in this new CBA that came out. They had to take it out of the NFL's hands, which I can appreciate.
Right.
Because when it comes down to owners and shit, the NFL will always try to protect them and they will always try to be harsher on the players, but most of the time. But at the end of the day, this is just preposterous that it's 6 games and it's we've talked about it. We don't have to go too far in depth with it just because we only have 40 minutes.
All right.
Soon. But it's annoyingly stupid that a judge can look at all of that and say there was no criminal convictions, 6 games.
Right.
Let's no. It's annoying. He should have gotten at least a year because I feel like time will tell in this case. So at least a year. So I can applaud the NFL for trying to go for a more stern, but I mean the judge had 2 weeks to look into this.
Right.
So I don't know how much of an appeal will help unless it goes to a different judge to.
The only thing that an appeal might do is allow Watson to start out the season playing, which you're not going to want. You're not going to want if you're the Browns, though, because if it is 6 games, you'd rather be the first 6 games than like week 5 through 11. You know, that would suck.
Starting literally week 6, they have the Falcons. Before that's the Steelers, the Jets, the Browns. There's a good team in there. But they could even without Deshaun Watson, they can easily go 3-3, 4-2 in those 6 games. But then you have the Ravens, you have a healthy Washington defense that you have to play.
Yeah, but see, maybe they're thinking like if we appeal it, which I know the team's not appealing, it's the NFL, but they could go like 5-0 with those shitty games, and then they were going to lose with or without Watson, let them lose without him during his suspension, and then bring him back. But the other part of this while we agree with the NFL and which is super weird, we don't ever agree
Yeah.
with Roger Goodell, but we agree with the suspension appeal. But what sort of precedence does this set that this is the very first judgment that's put out during this new CBA and it's already being appealed? Like, are we ever going to have something that's just agreed upon? The Players
No.
Association said it before the judgment even came out. They were like, we are set to agree with whatever the judgment is. And then the NFL said, nah, fuck that. We're appealing. So are we ever going to have a CBA that makes it work?
No, nobody's ever going to be happy when it comes down to punishments. The victims are always going to think, or not even the victims, the prosecution is always going to feel like they should have been given more. The defendants are going to feel like it's too harsh no matter what it is. And like, I honestly feel like Deshaun Watson and his camp are like, oh yeah, hey, let's go.
Right.
We'll
They're
take
like,
that
let's
all
do
day.
it.
Yeah, let's just be quiet and sit here and get through training camp and go home and get to work. But yeah, it's absurd. Hopefully it's not the same judge every single time.
Right.
I don't know how that's set up, but
I
if
have
that's
no
the
clue.
case, then this is going to be a lot of fun for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how that's going to work out either. But anyways, the Browns have to be moving on as if they're now understanding what's going on. They will play Watson until the suspension finally kicks in, and then they're not. But we talked about it very briefly. The AFC North is really not that dangerous. I know the Bengals did what they did last year or whatever, and I know Lamar Jackson is whatever. But what can the Browns expect with a season of, we're going to assume that this stands, 6 games without Deshaun Watson, and then having Deshaun Watson, which they didn't know if they were going to or not? Do they stand a chance to compete in this NFC North or maybe find a wild card spot? AFC North. Sorry.
AFC North, yeah, they definitely do. I mean, that team's no slouch. They just got Amari Cooper. They have Nick Chubb, who's a beast. Myles Garrett. I think, do they still have Clowney or no? I think they signed him on for another year.
Yeah, I think so.
They have some dogs over there in Cleveland, so now they really do have a shot. It's them, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and drawing a blank, Cincinnati. Yeah, so they could easily get a wild card spot just because we can all agree that Pittsburgh's probably going to be the worst team by far in that division. And we'll see how the Bengals come off of that year that they had last year. Not a lot of teams who make the Super Bowl end up making the playoffs a lot of times. And I think it's like 30-40% of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how they're able to fare. Just history wise is not on their side. So yeah, they definitely have a viable chance at the wild card, but I don't think Deshaun Watson's a type of player that's going to take that team who had to scratch and claw for everything. They didn't add that much depth, I don't believe, for all their injuries that the NFL just has every single year. They're never a team that drafts too great. They have 1 or 2 in the last 10 years that we talk about in the right way. And we talked about every other one in the negative way, it seems like.
Yeah.
But so they're not a team that's really built in depth. And when they do get to the playoffs, they're going to need their stars to shine. So I can see them thinking Deshaun Watson's going to help with that. But he's not a Brady, Rodgers, Stafford type guy. This new age quarterback shit still has yet to be proven in my eyes. Yeah, the Chiefs and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, they had Andy Reid, who's been doing this shit since we've been born, and finally had a guy that could get the shit done that was in his brain that he's been wanting to do for the last 30 years. So I mean, that's still up for grabs. This new age quarterback, Pat Mahomes has shown since he got in the NFL, he'd rather sit in the pocket and scramble around and just chuck that bitch, which is a little new age, I guess you could say. But we'll see with Deshaun. He's the new age quarterback who really turned it around, and him not playing in the last year and a half, and Lamar doing what Lamar's been doing. I think he's going to show up and show a lot of people what they've been missing for the last couple of seasons. But he's not that guy.
I think he is that guy. As long as he can just stay on the field and do his thing, I think he's going to be.
But maybe him being a Texan
is great. He's such a great quarterback, and like you said, he is a true quarterback that can run better than any of the other ones. You have the guys like Lamar Jackson. You have even Josh Allen. I feel like Josh Allen is a hybrid quarterback that just has a big arm, but he's not a passing quarterback in my opinion.
He has an 89 speed on Madden 22.
Well,
I
he
was just
can
going
run.
looking at
He
rosters.
can run really well. But like, I don't know that I'd call him a true quarterback. Deshaun Watson is a true quarterback and runs better than any other quote unquote true quarterback. So, except maybe Aaron Rodgers, who just doesn't run that much. Like you said, same deal with Pat Mahomes. They can, they just don't. They don't do it. That's not the way they do it. But I am excited to see him when he does go out there. I just have to accept the fact that he's going to do his time, do his punishment, regardless of how I think about it. And when he gets back out there, I'll be excited to see what he can do. So let's move on to more just sad punishment talk. The Miami Dolphins lose their first round.
Miami Dolphins
draft
pick. Remember that?
Sorry. No, I didn't. I don't.
They're old Super Bowls. I hear it all the time down here. That's
I'm
why.
sure you do.
It's awesome.
So funnily enough, so they lose their first round draft pick for tampering with Brady and Drew Brees. So now they don't have Brady. They don't.
Where does that draft pick go? It's just 31 picks in the first draft this year now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they just wipe it.
Go to charity, like
give it to the Jags. Yeah. No, they just wipe it. We've had that happen in basketball before because of tampering as well. So they're just not going to get it. But now they don't have Brady. They don't have Brees. Peyton, and they don't have a first round draft pick. So clearly they got nothing from this whole tampering business.
They do have the Chiefs from Tyreek. They got a first round, I think, in the Tyreek deal or something. They have a first round.
Yeah, they had multiple first round picks. Now they lose theirs.
Yeah.
But still, so one thing that I did see is this actually is a help potentially, not to the Dolphins themselves. You always want a first round pick, but it takes pressure off Tua now because they're not going to have that first round pick that they were going to replace Tua with if he was bad.
Yeah.
The first round pick that they would have is going to be a late first round pick, assuming the Chiefs do what everybody expects them to do, which is not a given with that AFC West, but you have to assume it's going to be a late first round pick. So they don't have that safety net of, hey, if Tua sucks, he's gone, we'll just draft a new quarterback. So how does that change the complexion of now what happens if Tua sucks? Do they try to trade him? Like, what is the deal here?
I don't think Tua's really had the pressure on him that much. I mean, he's came into training camp both years, it seems like, just doing his thing and going out there dropping dimes. We don't ever see anything bad too much about him in training camp.
All we see bad is on like Sports Center in the morning and stuff.
Yeah. And it seems like more in-house. And it would suck being a quarterback of the team and the owner doesn't want you there. That would probably be a shitty feeling. But I feel like Tua's overcome a lot in his career. So he's had his ups, he's had his downs. I think he's learned how to kind of stay mellow in every situation. So I don't think it's affecting him too much. And when he has the receiving core he does, like, it's going to be really fucking hard for this guy to look bad when he can throw the ball 5 yards down the field and have a 50-yard reception on his fucking stat sheet. And we saw it. I don't know if you saw the video, but he fucking
that bomb that he had
dimed it to Tyreek. Tyreek didn't have to slow down. The defenders were already 3 steps behind, and Tyreek just kind of just right in the breadbasket. It was nice.
Yeah.
And so I think Tua has that in him. We saw it at Alabama all the time. Them guys were just freaking getting hooks all the time. He had to sling it out to the big boys, and they were just getting the ball, missing tackles, and going to the house a lot of times. And I think that got overlooked from him being able to throw the ball deep. But for him to be able to do that against the SEC week in and week out, getting it to the edges, 10, 15 yards down the field, that's not an easy task. And if you think it is, please go to a high school field and stand in the middle of the field and throw it 15 yards to the sideline and see how many passes you can get to it doing those out routes, them break routes. It's not fucking easy whatsoever. You're going to have to throw it right when you say hike for it to get to them.
Right.
Fuck out of here with that. So the dude does have arm strength. I believe in him. But it's a make or break year. Without that draft pick, yeah, he might have a little bit more cushion, but it's still going to hurt a lot whenever he loses that starting job, because in today's NFL, there's always going to be a Ryan Fitzpatrick that can come and take your job for a year until they can figure it out.
Right. Yeah, that's very true.
Like,
There's going to be
look at the Falcons. They have two. Is Felipe a rookie or is this his second year?
It was his second year, I think,
I
but he
think
never
so.
touched
They
the
have
field.
him. Yeah, they have him. He's their second, third
Mhm.
quarterback. They have Desmond Ritter, who's a rookie this year, and then they have Marcus Mariota, who they just got. So there's always going to be that guy that can replace you. It's easy
Yeah,
in the NFL in today's age. So I don't think that the fire's not there. It's just on low temp right now.
true. Yeah, that's possible. And it's crazy. The other part of that I guess they did the investigations together. I don't know how they do that because it should be two completely separate things. But they found that they did not incentivize tanking.
That's bullshit.
But they told Brian Flores in the like thing they uncovered, they told him that a draft pick is more important than winning. But somehow that means they did not incentivize tanking. So
So,
I
but
don't
did you
really
see
understand.
in that? So the fairness, like the integrity of the game is still intact, was in
Right.
that paragraph.
Right.
So that's bullshit. I don't see Brian Flores sticking his neck out like that.
Right.
Being having the seat he had as a head coach, going the route he was to be able to go be a head coach anywhere he wanted to, trying to turn around an organization and saying, "Hey, look what I did in Miami when they didn't want me to." Nobody's going to do that. He's just going to be like, "Yeah, look what I did in Miami. I need a coaching job." Like that's it. No, he's not going to do that. He's an honest guy. There's nobody in their right mind that would ever go out and lie like that. But for a guy like Brian Flores, I do not see that whatsoever.
Yeah, but you
Whatsoever
can't
ever.
base
His back
anything
wasn't against
on
the wall for any reason whatsoever to do that.
right, but you can't base anything on that. You have to take the facts that you find and assuming that they're forthright in what they found, then as
We got
long
to
as they
take the
did not
facts that they're
find
given.
an act, that's why you pay that man in cash, which is probably what they did, and didn't record any of the things saying we're going to pay you and then pay him in cash under the table. He can't prove where that cash came from.
And we can tell
You know
by
what they're
the
doing.
other things found talking to Tom Brady while in the training camp of his last
Mhm.
season with the Patriots. They're in division rivals.
Yep.
Trying to talk to them, talking to Sean Payton when he's still a head coach, not even retired yet. The year before, this owner kind of has the mindset of I don't give a
Do
fuck.
whatever it takes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if find me if you need to, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna have Tom Brady owning this bitch, coaching this bitch, and getting me a championship while Sean Payton's calling the plays.
Yep.
And he wouldn't have gave a fuck if today they would have found out the truth. What are they going to do? Tell Tom Brady he has to go back to Tampa or New England? Tell
Right.
Sean Payton he can't go and he has to retire or go back to the Saints? No, they're just going to do the same thing they did. Take the draft picks, take the first and the third, and move on. They might add on another first if they were
Right.
still there. But this is what would have happened at the end of the day. And I feel like this owner just gives no fucks. And that doesn't hurt him whatsoever. And them coming out to find out that he's paying this guy $100,000 an L. It
Right.
hurts the league. It hurts Vegas. It hurts their pockets way more than it would hurt this owner who seems to have no fucks given attitude.
Yeah. No, and I'm in a conflicted state because I don't care about tanking. I don't think you should pay somebody for tanking because that could fuck up, like you said, Vegas and betting and stuff. But there's literally that's just what it is. You can call it load management. You can call it whatever the hell you want to call it. There's been tanking forever and it's going to continue, but hopefully they don't get into the habit of paying people for losing and giving bonuses and stuff like that.
Like looking
But
back, dude, the Jaguars really think that Urban Meyer was gonna not be the worst fucking coach in the history of the NFL.
Mhm.
And they did a lot. They sold a shit ton of jerseys for Tim Tebow. They sold a shit ton of Gainesville tickets.
And they got their number one pick again, so they were good to go. Like they were fine.
And then we got our boy Josh Lambo a lawsuit.
I don't know that they did that one on purpose, but yeah, they knew that they were going to be bad again. Like that, teams know. Teams will structure their team around that, and they'll know. That's all I have to say about that. But yeah, the tampering thing was pretty crazy, and it's cool to see that there's some sort of punishment. I don't know if it's worth it, but it's just funny that they didn't get either guy and they still got punished. So I just thought that was hilarious. So one more thing, we don't always talk about women's sports, but we are a champion of women's sports. We do bring them up from time to time. College basketball is not going to be fun next year. Paige Beckers, the UConn super stud. She was going to be #1 draft pick. She might still be #1 draft pick. She tore her ACL just a couple of days ago, so she's going to miss the entire season. Now that's her junior year. She could stay her senior year. We see women do that all the time in college basketball, but she could come out to the NBA, and I think she's still going to come out to the NBA. But this girl, I mean, obviously Sabrina Ionescu is doing what she's doing. Paige is the best since, I don't know, probably Asia Wilson or somebody, which I know wasn't that long ago, but Paige was this amazing superstar talent. So it's crazy to see how women are just progressing, where it's like the next best thing is now only like a year away. Yeah. I mean, it was Candace Parker, then like 9-10 years later, Diana Taurasi, and then like, and now it's like every couple of years, it's like, oh, that's the next best thing. So that's super cool. But to see her out, it helps UCF with it. UConn's not going to have their superstar player, right. But that sucks, man. I watched a few of her games last year, and she's amazing. So to see that she is out the entire season, that really sucks.
Yeah, it does. I don't really have too much on it. I don't really think UConn had too many opportunities in this season. Not a lot of teams do, unless they're named South Carolina. So,
do you think South Carolina is still going to be that squad without Asia Wilson? I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. They still have their coach, which
they were 6 years ago when she wasn't in the fucking.
But they didn't win until she showed up.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, it's still going to be the same, like 6 teams or so, and at the end of the day, it'll be one of them that are lifting the trophy. But that part, women's basketball is still trying to grow in, but they are getting stars, and they are getting more exciting to watch, and it's really fun. So I think that's the end of our bad stuff. So mid transition to getting to real sports that are more exciting to talk about. I'm watching this LAFC versus Club America. It's just a friendly. It's like some.
No, I was trying to figure out what the hell you kept looking at. I was like, is he really watching the Warriors and the Giants right now?
No, and it's just a friendly. Bale's not out there. Vela's not out there. Our backup keeper's out there. Everybody's benched. But I'm watching it, and something funny. Club America has 2 guys that have triple-digit numbers. One dude is number 200, and one dude is number 205.
What?
Like on their jerseys. Like why? Straight up. I don't know. I guess they can be triple digits.
I wouldn't mind being in that league.
Maybe I don't know if it's because they just retired so many numbers, or if they can just have as many numbers as they want, and they're like, hey, we want triple digits. But that was pretty cool. But it's 0-0. Nothing's happening because nobody cares.
Another weird thing, Jacksonville was getting so big they got a new area code.
Oh, really?
Yep, 324.
That's dumb.
As fuck.
So what is like the 904 and stuff going to be?
It's still 904. Yeah, it's just all the
Remember
new.
When Tobacco was 904 way back in the day?
Yeah.
That's
now we're gonna know all the new fucking New York and California fucks moving into Jacksonville. Be like, hey, you're new in town. What's your number? Oh, 324. Fuck you. I don't want to talk to you.
That's how LA is. They have the old school, like I think.
Like, how long you lived in Jacksonville? I've lived here for like 10 years. Oh yeah, you got a strong New York accent. What's your number? Oh, 324. Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, get out of here. All right, so we're gonna shift gears now and talk a little bit about baseball. Just one story, and then we're gonna get into our basketball stuff because we don't want to run out of time. And we missed our tagline last time because it's the fastest minute in the world. Just so you know, after adding the intro, it still only came out to like 39 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's when you press like record.
No, but I know, but what I'm saying, I was like, get out of here.
No, it's before you press record. I think it's like the total.
Yeah, it's as soon as you answer the phone call. Yeah. But anyways, real quick, the Padres got Juan Soto. I don't give a fuck about any other trades. The Padres got Juan Soto. I don't care. We're like 15 games ahead. So we'll see where he ends up or where they end up afterwards. But as long as we avoid the stupid 3-game series with them, we're fine. If it's a full 7-game series or 5-game, whatever the fuck the short one is, if it's a full 7-game series, I'm not worried about it. When it's those stupid little series, we saw what could have happened against the Nationals the year that they ended up going on all the way. Otherwise, we're going to be totally set. Yeah, no, I saw it too. We're gonna be totally set. It's gonna be us and the
Yeah,
Yankees
it's
in the
right when it
championship.
starts, like right when I join.
Yeah. It's gonna be us and the Yankees in the championship. But if you're a Padres fan, how excited are you for Juan Soto?
You got to be very excited. I mean, this is a guy that's probably going to be there for the next 8-9 years of his career. So yeah, you got to hope that they don't fuck it up and can get this deal done because you just gave up a shit ton. And how about the Nationals guy that got packaged in with him who had a no trade?
Oh yeah, your boy Bell.
He had a
or
no
whatever his name
trade
is.
clause.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not going to Washington. There's no fucking way I'm going to Washington. So we ended up getting him out of a pretty
Yeah.
decent fucking player. And out of nowhere, we're like, yeah, sure, we'll take it on.
You
Whatever.
just had to take him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was pretty fucking cool.
crazy.
But yeah, if you're a Padres fan, you got to be excited. But at the end of the day, the way the NL works, their pitching is not going to get
And
them
they got
through.
they're just not it's okay. They'll have Tatis, Soto, and Machado, so they'll score 3 runs a game. And
Yeah, like Acuna Jr. didn't even fucking play, and the Braves won a fucking World Series. Their
Exactly.
best, their Juan Soto wasn't even fucking playing, and they won a World Series. Like it, yeah. These guys are nice and explosive in the box, but they're not these fucking 3-point players or whatever the fuck the
5 tool players
that it takes to win these fucking NL pennants.
Well,
alone.
Mike Trout's never been in the playoffs, so like a position player does not win you a game. Like pitchers do. If you get a great pitcher, I get it. I love Juan Soto. I actually do. And it sucks he's on the Padres, but a position player will not win you a World Series. And so I'm not worried about it if they don't have pitching. All right. So let's shift gears. Let's let Seal end, but I'm going to bring up my stuff first because I had the best game I've ever had. We still lost. We still only have 5 people that show up to fucking games. But I played really well. I think it was like 5 deflected passes. Sadly, a few of them went to the other team, like to another guy on the other team, but I was active hands. I hit 8 points in the first half, finished with 8 points, still trying to get my legs under me. But I think I took like 8 or 9 shots all game, which is like probably equals the rest of the season as a whole, how many shots I've taken. So I was being more aggressive. I took some dribble drives, took some mid ranges, took a couple layups, missed both layups, both contested. They weren't wide open layups, but things that I can get better at. And we're starting to gel as a team. Sadly, that was the last game of the regular season. But we're starting to gel as a team. I texted the team today and I said, are we ready to run it back next year? And everybody was seeming very excited. Who knows how they'll be in a month. But they were like, yeah, let's fucking go get it. Let's try to add a couple more players and let's get some subs and let's get out there and let's go win. So that's exactly the way I wanted this season to go, minus no wins. But moving forward, I think we're going to be really set up for the future.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and I was really excited for you whenever you texted me afterwards. At the end of the day, the score doesn't matter for y'all's team. That's you aren't out there trying to chase dubs, chase championships and all that shit. So, I mean, you're out there grinding, trying to get better. And the fact that it's starting to show on the court is really awesome to see. And once you get them legs back, bro, you'll be straight and get that knee strength going, them knees over toes.
Yes,
and yeah, you'll really get there. I'm excited for you, bro. But yeah, I didn't do shit this week. My chest still, like when I wake up, it's still really fucking sore and hurts. So I went in, I texted them Saturday saying I'm probably not playing tomorrow, and then showed up on Sunday. I was like, yo, if you need me, I got you. I played probably 5-6 minutes, picked up a foul, stupid as shit, didn't hit dude, didn't hit anything, whiffed him at the end of the half, tie the game up. But yeah, we're playing the number 1 seed. It's a first playoff game. We did win our game on Friday in a triple overtime victory. Crazy. Everybody's saying arguably the best game in that league's history. I think this is the 9th year. So it's really cool that I was able to be a part of that. Didn't play the first 2 overtimes, played the third. We won the third. I'll let you take what you want off of that.
Didn't you have 3 points that game?
Yeah.
In like the first half. I saw
got
that
3
3
points in the
nice.
first. Yeah. I got 3 points in the no, it wasn't a 3. It was a and 1.
Oh yeah.
I got an and 1. I got that in like the first 2 minutes of the game, and then didn't do too much else. I picked up like 4 boards, assist, Still, I was out there hustling. I've been more concerned about my defense and getting to it on that end. I'm trying to just pass the ball out. I've taken like 2 shots a game the last 3 games, so it's a lot better than going out there jacking up nothing, a whole bunch of nothing like I did the Spurs game, and haven't really done much shooting since. I don't think I took a shot in this past game. I don't think I did. I couldn't. I was hurting like a bitch.
Right.
But yeah, we ended up winning by 2 points. So now we're the only team to beat this team. They were 6-1 or 5-1, however the fuck it works out. I think 5-1. We were the only ones to beat them. So we're about to pull some Jacksonville Jaguars on the Pittsburgh Steelers type shit and be the only team to beat them 3 times and get them the fuck out and go into the championship. And it looks like we'll probably be playing the Warriors.
They look
Spurs, good. Yeah, the Spurs were up at half.
Yeah.
And then the Warriors just kind of locked it down and went to work. But it could go either way, man. If the Spurs big men woke up and acted like big men, they'd be fine. Like Brandon Colin's a dog. He's always been a guy that gets boards in that league, but he's 6 foot, like he's my height.
Yeah.
And he gets in there, he's strong, he's got ups, and yeah, he gets boards. I think he had like 18, and
Jeez.
the Spurs had like 25 as a team.
Wow.
So yeah, that was the big ouchie. So yeah, we'll probably end up playing the Warriors, another team that we beat. We had to beat them the last game of the season, and there was only 6 of us then too. So
well, you're now on what, like a 3-game win streak after a little bit of a struggle.
Lost 3 in a row.
So,
We've won 3 in a row now. Yeah. So I mean, we're starting to really gel. We're figuring it out, and we're grinding on the defensive side. We knew coming into this game, the only reason we were able to come back and win the last one is because we zoned 2-3 zone. So we came out doing that. And at first we were a little sloppy. All their shots that they were making were wide open in the corners because Allen decides just to yell at them instead of closing out on a pass.
I hit that stomp clap whenever I don't want to run out to him.
Yeah, now he just goes, wow, and he runs past them because he like looks and sees them get the ball. Like he should just be running on the pass, but whatever. It's Allen. I can't say anything.
I just stomp and clap if I'm too tired to get out to him, and it doesn't matter.
Like I'd much rather people score on us by Scott just letting them get the open shot and wanting the rebound instead of them getting an open 3-pointer because somebody's not closing out. That's not named Scott.
Yeah. I got a block last game, by the way. It was playing big for a little bit. It was one of those underneath blocks when the guy brought it down too low, but he was going up for like a weird layup start. And so they might have even called it a steal, not a block, because he was bringing it up from his waist and I smacked it out of his hands. But yeah, it was nice. I had a crazy save too, by the way, before our time runs out. I was jumping fucking everything. I'm dead serious. I think I had like 5 to 6 deflections. Well, I deflected one and it was going to be a fast break, but I'm white and slow and have a bad back. And at that point there was like 3 minutes left in the game. So my back was like, I'm done, bro. Yeah. And so I stopped because I was like, I'm not going to get it. And then it didn't look like it was going quite out of bounds as fast as I thought. So I was like, oh shit, I do got to go get this. So I took off running and I saved it. I throw it behind my back, almost run over the scoring table, do a football spin move on the scoring table. The scoring person was like this, go around, jump up on the bleachers. I run up the bleachers and like grab onto the side of them and stop. And then I look up and see my guy wide ass open shooting a 3. I was like, I just threw it right back into my guy and he nailed a 3. But
oh man,
it was cool. But yeah, so that happened. But we're less than a minute. We don't know how long that takes. So we had a couple good games. We really enjoyed it. We both have games coming up, I think, because everybody makes the playoffs. So I'll make the playoffs, but it's in like 2 weeks because the gym's down for renovations. But you'll have your games that we'll be talking about. I'm gonna get my cardio
I will know if I'm in the finals by the next one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting some sprint cardio, not the cardio I did at the beginning of the year that got me where I am today, which is great. But I'm gonna do some sprint cardio because I'll talk to you later. But I was trying to do 5 on each side of this drill and I got 2. Dude, I don't know how long a minute is, but it's going to kick us off again. But be like us, have fun. Don't be like Seal being a little bitch trying to hurry me up. And as always, be a stud, not a scrub.